Introduce yourself.
My name is Joshua Searle. I'm a junior at W&J studying business and psychology, and I'm from Red Creek, New York.
I'm Hunter Swedish, also a junior at W&J, and I'm from Seneca Valley.
My name is Jay Sanabria. I also wrestle at W&J. I'm a psychology major with forensics and sociology minor, and I'm from Tampa, Florida.
Give some background on yourself.
Yeah, so I'm from a small town in upstate New York, about halfway between Rochester and Syracuse, kind of in the middle of nowhere. I went to a really small school. I graduated with 55 people. Unlike a lot of my teammates, I only started seriously wrestling as a freshman. So, definitely pretty young in the sport compared to, a good majority of the team. And yeah, I ended up down here because I wanted to go to college here.
I'm like Josh. I'm from a pretty popular area, Cranberry Township. I graduated with about 650 kids, and basically, I don't know, just I guess that's it.
I'm a bit different from both of them. My dad was in the military, so I bounced around from school to school. I spent 2 years in Hawaii for my freshman, sophomore year, and then finished off in Maryland for my junior, senior. I started wrestling like Josh my freshman year, and I came to W&J just because it was a good school. I knew they had a good psychology program.
Give everybody a fun fact about yourself.
My dad is a pastor, so definitely we'll be having conversations or whatever. It's like, hey, did you watch, this Adam Sandler movie or this kind of funny movie? Be like, no, didn't have a childhood. Wasn't given that opportunity. So I missed out on a lot of the joy of people like Adam Sandler.
I guess a fun fact about me is I used to collect coins. Yeah, so take that as you will. But yeah, I had like a big map of the USA and like a quarter from each state and stuff. Like it was pretty cool. And then I had like a ton of like silver dollars and stuff. I still have them actually, so hopefully they're worth some money eventually.
That's an investment.
Yeah.
That's a business decision right there.
Fun fact about me is I used to live in Germany and traveled around to many Europe countries, so that was fun.
Lots of fun facts.
I can't beat the coin though.
Yeah, that's.
I don't think I've ever told
You've never told us that.
That's a good one.
Yeah, that's deep.
I think I'm more scared to tell people that than anything. It doesn't fit my mode.
Yeah, that's definitely
a pretty cool fact.
Yeah, that's a chink in the armor. Like that might be brought up.
I put that in the archives.
Wait, how old were you when you were collecting coins?
You have stamps?
What?
You collect
Stamps?
stamps?
Stamps is a different level.
I don't know. I started collecting them. Like my grandpa had a whole collection, so he kind of passed it down. And like I guess
That sounds
7, 8 years old.
Yeah.
It was definitely
he kind of had a collection.
Yeah.
It was definitely an old head thing that was just like, here you go, have fun.
Yeah. And I have like them like laminated $2 bills from like the, I don't know where Yellow State Park or whatever. So I mean it's pretty cool.
Do you have like the gold New Hampshire bills?
No, I do.
My mom got me some gold New Hampshire bills. They're made out of gold, but you could actually like use them as currency in the U.S.
I have like copper like ingots and stuff.
Nice. I have like the $50 that my grandma gave
Yeah.
me. That's not the direction I thought this was going to go.
I can't relate. I don't care. I don't like that stuff.
I'm a psychologist.
So, what is your go-to shot?
Knee pull sweep single, 100%.
I'd probably say the same, but just because I don't want to be the same as Josh, I'll go low single.
Thanks, bro.
I'd probably say a high crotch.
Okay. There was a TikToker that was making a film, and he said he can describe your personality.
Based on what kind of shot you like? Yeah, I saw the video. You're a meathead.
Yeah, he didn't have anything nice to say about high crotchers.
Yeah, man, damn.
He was pretty much spot on.
Yeah. So, what made you guys decide to come to W&J?
Yeah, so when I got out of high school, I was at the point where I really loved wrestling. Like it was kind of like it was a sport that taught me so much and made me better in every single way and saved my life in a very literal sense. So I'm like, all right, I wasn't that great in high school. I want to continue and I want to keep going, right? So being from New York's a pretty good wrestling state for high school, maybe top 5, whatever. Shut up. But, well, I knew, okay, PA's just south of me. PA is the best, wrestling state, especially for high school. I want to go where the best wrestlers are. So I decided, PA. So most of the schools I was looking at were in PA, and Coach Prairie, who was the head coach at the time, was the first person to really invest his time in me. So, push came to shove, I ended up here.
I'd say my recruiting process was a little bit of a struggle because came down to the point where I was like, I don't even know if I want to wrestle in college. But then I had a lot of influence, like Joe Montalbano, my family, and my junior high coach, Zeke Stroop, who actually wrestled at W&J. So he actually was the one who really pushed me to come here, and that's kind of how I got here. And they have a really good computer science program, so that's why I came here as
well. Honestly, wrestling was not the main attraction for me coming to W&J. I was really looking for a psychology major throughout the country, and it just so happened that WJ had a really good one. So I got accepted here into Penn State, Maine, and I just figured why not continue to wrestle because I do love the sport and get a really good degree. So that's why I'm here.
It's between here and Penn State, huh?
I also had that problem. I got into Penn State, Maine as well. So it was either I wrestle or I get Penn State.
Yeah.
Okay. So, Hunter, you're from the Whitfield. Was it a hard decision to decide you wanted to wrestle in the Whitfield then? Like stay in the Whitfield to wrestle?
No, it really wasn't that hard of a decision. Like I said, my junior high coach came here and he ended up coaching at Seneca Valley. I think he's the head coach at Freedom now. So, I mean, just being around... Huh?
Heimel?
No, Zeke Stroop.
Okay.
I didn't even talk about Heimel either, but yeah, I mean, I just surrounded myself with guys like from the Whitfield my whole wrestling career, and I didn't want that to end because, we're the toughest region out there. So...
That's for sure. Josh, Jazik, you guys decided to come to W&J for a lot of good reasons. Was it hard to decide to leave your home states to come to PA and further your careers?
You got it. I got a little story.
Okay. Honestly, no. Just because my dad was in the military, I moved around a lot. Like there was one year I moved schools 8 times within a year. So moving was not an issue for me. Plus, I just don't like the state of Maryland. This is where my parents live now. So it was an easy decision for me to make. Coming here to WJ, though, I had no idea about anything wrestling-wise here. Like, I didn't know anything about the whip or anything until I got here. So coming in was definitely a culture shock just because, like you guys said, it is one of the toughest places to wrestle at. So it was definitely something different I had to adjust to.
The toughest.
The toughest.
Yeah. So like Jazik, I had no idea what the hell the Whitfield was when I came in. I came in and
smacked in the face and said hello.
Yeah, I met people like Hunter Swedish and Braden Rescott, and you're like, hey, this is the Whitfield. Welcome to the I don't even know what. Welcome to the Whitfield. I guess it was just we're the best and that's that. But I had no idea that the Whitfield was a thing. I just knew PA is the best of the best. They're the cream of the crop. I got to go to the best place, right? And I wanted to get out of New York State. I don't like some of the laws and the politics there, and it gets a little tyrannical at some point. So I just wanted to be able to just get out of that environment. So yeah, it was between here and Norwich University at the very end of my decision-making process, and I was like, well, W&J has the better program by far. So I ended up in PA, and then I stumbled upon the powerhouse that is the Whitfield.
Okay. I like it.
I feel like I would flatter you a little bit with that last one.
I am a big Whitfield fan.
Really?
So, yeah.
Did you guys know he was a Whitfield fan? I didn't know.
That's one of my secrets. Don't tell everybody. So, all three of you have a lot to do with your school other than just wrestling. So Josh is the president of the frat, Hunter is the vice president of the frat, and been the captain for the wrestling team the last 2 seasons. Jazik, he's an RA for the school. How does it feel to be a leader and a mentor on and off the mat?
For me, kind of like the positions I've ended up in, they're definitely not positions that I came to W&J thinking I would have. You know, it was very much a, hey, Josh would be good at being a president thing. I'm sure it was similar for Sweet and for Jazik, who's also has a position in the house. It's like, you'd be good at it. And then I just ended up kind of having it, right? So for me, being able to have the leadership opportunities I've been able to learn so much, you know, make mistakes at a place where ultimately it doesn't matter that much. I'm not saying college doesn't matter, and I'm not saying that, you know, your actions don't have consequences at school, but it's better to mess up here than mess up outside and, you know, completely destroy your life. So I've obviously I've made mistakes, but I've learned from them and I pick myself up. So now I have this knowledge that I can, you know, pass on to these younger wrestlers or pass on to whoever throughout the rest of my life. And I've also just learned more about myself and therefore learned how to lead better. So
Yeah, I think just having those leadership roles really has made me grow as a person and mature a lot. Like Josh said, you learn from your mistakes and you bounce back all the time. And traditionally, I grew up just like in a wrestling room, leading by example. Like there was always that guy that just like everyone would like listen to and look up to. And I always strive to be that person. And I think I've done a pretty good job so far.
Honestly, the RA role is the only one I've ever applied for that's a leadership position. Most times I don't want them. I just kind of just put my head down, work my ass off, and people kind of just follow that. People ask me for advice. I'm just like, you just got to work hard. Like I honest to God, half the time I don't even want the roles. They just kind of come to me, which is, I know it's a crappy thing to say, but like it's the truth.
that's true.
I feel like we're the type of people that just like people throw stuff onto and we'll just accept it and like work our asses off, like Jason said, to make people happy.
Right.
A lead by example kind of thing.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, that's also partially because I think everybody around us, you know, knows we're dependable, you know, just because of our work ethic and, you know, our moral code. It's like, you know, speaking for myself, I'm not the type of person to be given a responsibility and just decide not to do it because I don't want to do it. You know, that's ass backwards. Excuse my language. So, you know, I was given a situation like being a president or being a leader of a wrestling team or, you know, whatever. It's like, I'm not just going to give up on that. I'm a dependable individual and I'm going to maintain that image.
It's like with us, you get all or nothing, you know?
Yeah.
Good. That's a good way to be.
Yeah, for sure.
I say hopefully that sticks with you guys after you guys graduate and get into the real world and life. So those are good traits to have. What advice would you guys give to your teammates this upcoming season?
Don't get caught up. There's a lot of stuff that happens throughout the school year, especially during winter, because people decide to go crazy for some reason. I don't know if it's the code, so everyone has to stay inside, but there's a lot of things that happen, especially on a college campus. So don't get caught up with all the drama. Don't get caught up with some random BS that you may encounter. Like, take everything in stride and just keep on your path, because you came to college for a certain reason, whether that's to wrestle or to get a good job after college or something. Like you're here for a reason. Stick on the path. Don't stray from it. It's not worth it.
Yeah, I feel like Jason kind of took the words out of my mouth. I just like to tell you guys, keep your head down, stay focused. There's always going to be that temptation and distractions, but you got to overcome that and just keep your head down.
Yeah, I'll double down on that. Like, just stay out the mix, you know? Like, the bar will always be open. There will always be people to party with. There will always be that video game console that you can play. You're only going to be able to wrestle for the next 4 years. You're only going to have this opportunity for the next 4 years, if you're lucky. And that being said, I would also add on to it, be intentional. Be intentional. Like, with every step, whether it's with your wrestling, your classes, you know, personal life, romantic life, whatever it may be intentional. Because when you're not intentional, you go on autopilot. And when you're on autopilot, you hurt yourself and other people. So always be intentional.
So, not counting regionals or nationals, what match or tournament are you looking most forward to this season?
I'll go first, I guess.
Yeah.
I got two answers for this actually. I'm really looking forward to that Fairmont State match, the very first one. Personally, I've wrestled Nathan Polanski like I don't know 4 or 5 times.
Shout out Nate.
Yeah, I mean he's a great opponent, but yeah, he's just one of those guys that I
He's a
know.
PA boy also.
Yeah, I just know he's a challenging opponent, and I'm excited for that match. I'm excited for the team environment because I think we can compete with them for sure. And it's always good beating a D2 team as a Division III team. A tournament though I'm really looking forward to is PAX because that always just brings a good team environment and like we all come together. I feel like those type of teams environment brings us really close together, and you love to see that from a team.
Especially hostility. Like last year with in Teal, where there was just so much hostility.
Yeah.
We really had to come together as a team, and it worked out. But I would definitely say PAX is something I'm looking forward to, especially being at home this year. I feel like we can definitely have a good turnout. Like people that that just like love our program are definitely going to come out and just support us, and I think it's going to be very fun.
Yeah, I'll double down on that as well. Like PAX, I want static for PAX. You know, like I want those. You know, like Jason said, it's home. I want people who only know us for being the wrestling team and have never watched us wrestle to be at that and get hype. I want our parents to be there. I want the student section to be there, and I want to put on a show. You know, no disrespect to anybody else, but a very hostile environment last year with Teal. Same thing with Waynesburg a few years ago as well. You know, I want smoke.
Yeah, and like the wrestling team always shows up for the other teams. I feel like so we'd really expect other teams to show up for us.
Yeah, that would be nice to have a couple other teams show up to make some noise.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Let's end the podcast with a few hypothetical questions. So this one's for Josh. If you got to pick to go 100 years in the future or go 100 years in the past for one day, what would you pick and why?
I'm going 100 years in the past. I'm going 100 years in the past. Not for why you said. No. But back then, no, back then when boats were made out of wood, men were made out of steel. And during that time period from, the 19 teens to, to the 20s into the 40s with World War II, like that era of time is when people still had a good grounding in faith and moral values, but also like the most heroic aspects of humanity was seen during that time.